Hi everybody. Good morning. My name is Rachel Crawford, and I am the president of Students for Life at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. So obviously, my club is the most popular club on campus, right? I get so frustrated when we're doing outreach because, everyone agrees with me. What am I supposed to do? Not exactly. And I am really passionate about the work that my group does. We do a lot of outreach on campus, and I've been really involved for the last 3 years. And in that time, I found that my passion in the pro-life movement is speaking with those who disagree. To the point that I've actually picked up a women's studies minor, which is just composed of abortion propaganda, taught by abortion providers. And so as I've been doing this outreach and speaking with all these people who disagree with me very strongly, I find that the more I understand their position, the better I can change their mind. I think as pro-life people, we need to have conversations that are both charitable and persuasive. And we're not going to be compelling unless we understand the disagreement between our position and theirs. And so there are a lot of things that cause people to be pro-choice, or to feel the way they do about abortion. But the two main things I've identified that are coming up in almost every conversation I have, and they also aren't responded to well by even intelligent, educated pro-life people, are bodily rights and personhood. So bodily rights is really well known, right? The slogan, "My body, my choice," is familiar to people on all sides of the issue. And sometimes as pro-life people, we want to kind of dismiss this position. It's not your body, it's not your choice, that's silly, and just move on. But I think that that's not actually going to change their mind well. I think that in order to change their mind, we really need to have a good response to that position. But for the sake of time today, I'm going to be presenting a case for the other disagreement, personhood. And this case was developed by the Equal Rights Institute. The case for equal rights is difficult to make when you're talking about abortion. I think that's because the unborn is a little bit unclear, ambiguous, and that's one of the reasons why abortion is so widely accepted. It's because the unborn is a little bit unclear. And so when I'm talking about equal rights with other people, I'm going to talk about the clearest case possible, and that's adults. And that's how Equal Rights Institute explains this case. So if I'm speaking to someone who disagrees about abortion, and I get the feeling that they don't believe the unborn is a person, then I may propose to them that we kind of pause the abortion conversation for a second and just talk about equal human rights. And so I'll ask them, do you care if we talk about the people we can see in the room right now? Or if I'm outside, can we just look around our campus and just talk about the people we can see? And I say to them, do you think that everyone we can see right now should have equal human rights, the same ones? And most of the time they'll say yes. If they say no, there's a bigger problem. We don't need to talk about abortion, we need to talk about that. But if they say yes, I'll let them know. I agree with you. I do think everyone we can see right now should be regarded equally in society. However, I don't think that history has always agreed with us. I actually think in history we can see that blacks were not given the same rights as whites, and Jews were disregarded as persons as well. Women were not treated the same as men. And this is a problem. I think that in history, people in power had tried to kick people out of that equality circle. And they kicked them out for things that did not matter. Race, gender, degrees of intelligence or ability. These are all things that should not be the foundation, the roots of our equality. And so sometimes I'll ask them, do you think that there is something that we could have as a foundation for our equality? And let them think it out, And they'll come up with different things. They'll say maybe consciousness or something of the sort, right? And then you can kind of talk about that with them. Or sometimes, depending on how the conversation's been going, I'll just jump right in. I'll say, I think that we should all get the same equal human rights because we're equally human. In our shared humanity, we have that foundation for equality. And this will get the wheels turning. This will get the gears going in their head. And I'll talk with them about that. This isn't something that it can be on a degree. Equal, equally human. And the unborn are equally human and living to you and I. They are whole. And for this reason, I am a social justice activist for this group, right? And now all the things they've heard about the pro-life movement, how we're so passionate about abortion, now it's kind of starting to make sense to them, right? They can see that I feel tiny people is being discriminated against. And now maybe they'll understand my position a little bit more like I'm trying to understand theirs. And so when we use this kind of case that's really clear when we're talking with those who disagree, it's more compelling, it's more persuasive. And if we can do this in a charitable way, I think we can change more minds. I argue today that posters and billboards, buttons, bumper stickers, pro-life t-shirts, all those things, they do get people thinking. They are productive in a way, but I don't know if they're enough to actually change someone's mind and make them pro-life. I think what actually makes people pro-life is having a personal connection to someone who is, or having that position explained to them clearly and compassionately. That conversation. And so that takes both courage and the investment in understanding their position, understanding ours, and knowing how to talk about it. And so ultimately, don't we want everyone to be right about abortion? Don't we want everyone to be pro-life? Isn't that our ultimate goal? And so I think we can achieve that goal by making that investment. So thank you so much for listening to me today.